Are you filming that?
Yeah, of course.
The thing is, if you actually put that in, that's what people would talk about. They wouldn't care what we said about anything else.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, I don't know if I got the nasal here, but I got the laughter about the nasal. Hey, so no, well done, guys. Just ignore this for a moment. I'm just going to sit in here. And great trip. Well done.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
It's good. It was, yes.
So tell us a bit about like some special moments, some things that stand out for you. It's a huge. How long has it taken you?
67 days from starting, get on the water to get 67 days.
67 days.
2,400 kilometres.
Wow.
And 20 of those days we had off the water. So
It's
47.
due to weather or whatever.
Mostly weather, although some of them we just thought, it's a nice day, it's a nice place, let's be tourists.
Let's have a look
Right.
around and meet people.
Yeah.
So 47 days on the water.
Yeah.
And 2,000, how many?
400. Actually, it was 2,399 kilometres.
My
But we didn't know that. We
Approximately.
paddled around in a circle just to get up to 2,400.
Yeah, no, you're not the Australian kayakers, came across the Tasman
No.
and did the big circle. So out of all that, it's a huge amount of paddling and a huge amount of time. Tell us of some special moments or some critical moments. Actually, there's some things that we talked about.
Critical moments.
Yeah.
One of the critical moments, I think, was getting around Pusiga Point, which is the very southwest. Well, it's down the southwest corner of the South Island.
The bottom pie corner. Yep.
Yeah, we were told that might be one of the critical points.
Where all the bad weather hits, basically, when it comes up to New Zealand. Pusiga.
Yeah, and it was, and it was good to get around that.
And it was a calm.
Yeah, we
was
actually
okay to go
had
around?
a very good day for that. In fact, I'd been sick. I'd been pretty sick for a week. We'd had a week off, and the first day back, we went around Pusiga, and it was a 70-kilometre day, and I was exhausted. And we'd only intended to go about 50k, but it was so good on the water that we couldn't miss that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so we just pushed on, and it was 12 and a quarter hours, I think, in the boats. I was exhausted, but it was really good to...
Because you're understating it slightly, aren't you? Slightly sick. You'd actually been in hospital, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got airlifted out from Port Craig because I had a bad infection and I was feverish and not feeling very well. So we walked back in, 17 kilometres, took us 6 hours the day before. Woke up the next morning and thought, damn, it's a good day, better go kayaking.
Absolutely.
And ended up doing 70k.
Not in most people's hospital recuperation schedule.
No, probably not. Probably my doctor wouldn't have been very happy. My mum was probably having kittens, but...
Yeah. So great moment getting around that critical point, as it were.
Yeah, it was, it was, it was. And then that was the beginning of... from there, pretty much around the corner, that's like you just go into bad weather. More or less, that's what it felt like for the next few weeks, more or less.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming up the South Island west coast.
Yeah, up Fiordland, really around Fiordland. The weather while we were there was, it wasn't that good really. It was quite grim.
It was very windy. It was certainly the windiest time that we had when we were there.
Yeah.
We had really strong southeasterlies coming out of the fjords for a couple of days, trying to blow us offshore.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever been paddling where the air went white with sea spray. Literally, you couldn't see anything. All you could see was white as the wind just picked up the water off the sea and just right in front of us.
Amazing.
So, fortunately, it was only gusting like that. I mean, I think we'd have been in real trouble if it had been like that permanently. So you just had to brace while that went on. And then when it finished, just try and head inland, really, ferry glide across it until the next gust hit you. And eventually we made it into the shelter from the wind.
Brilliant.
That was quite scary, really.
Yeah.
Because it's pushing you out to sea rather than blowing on shore.
So thinking about you weren't thinking of heading to Australia on this trip.
No.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to see how you could end up being stuck there for weeks down in Fiordland.
Yeah.
Just in one spot. We ended up staying in one place for 4 nights.
Right.
Because we were stuck because of the weather.
Yeah.
Every morning it was strong northerlies, but we were in a hut, which was great because it rained so much.
So heavily,
It filled our kayak cockpits in a day, and that's that's that deep.
Completely to the brim.
Plus, obviously there's the area that's open to the rain is
And
you know,
the bit
there's
where your
about
legs
twice
are.
as much
Yeah.
in there, or if not more.
That
so
is a lot of rain.
I reckon it must have been that much rain in a day,
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah, that's
Really
our,
amazing.
That's our West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like? I know coming up the West Coast, there's that constant kind of surf beach thing going on
Yeah,
in
we're
terms
very
of
aware.
leavings and arrivings, landings.
Yeah.
Does that kind of get to you after a while? That almost like I'm thinking about myself. I guess this is like I would feel concerned for the end of each day. You know, how's it going to end today?
It doesn't.
Is that
not after a while. Straight away, all the time.
Yeah, good.
all the time?
Certainly for me,
Yeah.
it was on my mind all the time. Yeah, because you just don't know what it's going to be like at the end of each day. Because if the weather changes, you know, well, if you don't know the coastline, you know, with the swell coming in, you can have a fairly calm day, you know, but there's a big swell coming in.
Exactly.
So you're paddling along, you know, nice calm paddling day, and then you find that you got to land in big surf.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Did you have
well,
any interesting landings?
Yeah, we
Difficult.
A few, yeah.
did. Yeah, we tried to judge it pretty well, didn't we? I think we did okay on that.
Yeah, when it was really big swell, we just didn't go out, or it depended unless we had a sheltered landing. You know, if we didn't have a sheltered landing, like when we went to Jackson Bay, it was pretty rough and swelly, but we knew it was a fantastic landing, really well protected. So we pushed on in sort of 30 knots of wind behind us, and just surfed and made quick progress. And I wasn't concerned. I'm not that afraid in big seas, if you like, but I am afraid of big surf landings. And it's not just you get wet. You know, you can wrench your shoulder, you can really hurt yourself, you can damage your boat.
Sure,
you know? So
exactly.
really don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to get wet either.
Yeah.
Well,
It's pretty bad.
I don't mind getting wet, but yeah. The neck seal on my kag is not, you know, it's for touring. It zips, it sticks on, you know, but if you got completely trashed, you'd be wet.
You'd be wet
And then
right through.
Your clothes are wet for the next day.
Yeah, yeah.
Which isn't the end of the world, but, you know,
Yeah.
just in case your shoulder would be.
Yeah, you go day after day, you know, put wet
Yeah.
stuff on every morning.
Well,